in the static, it's in the moisture. It's in here, it's out there. And what's out there is in here now.
Give me more.
It was just a color, but it burns. That line pretty much sums up the vibe of Color Out of Space, a movie where the monster isn't some masked killer or ancient god. It's a shade of light your eyes weren't built to see, based on H.P. Lovecraft's trippiest short story and directed by Richard Stanley. Yes, that Richard Stanley. This 2019 cosmic fever dream shows us what happens when Nicolas Cage tries farming, a meteorite lands in your yard, and reality itself gets put through a meat grinder. Let's get into it. The plot. The Gardner family lives in the ancient, supposedly cursed rolling hills of the fictional town of Arkham, Massachusetts, the setting for several of H.P. Lovecraft's works. We first meet Lavinia in the middle of a ritual, calling upon higher powers to remove her mother's cancer, and where better to seek help from than the Necronomicon, aka the Book of the Dead, another of Lovecraft's infamous creations, which has appeared in many other stories, including the Evil Dead trilogy. Enter Ward, a hydrologist with a heart of exposition, here to warn us all about water tables and foreshadowing. Nathan, the alpaca-loving dad played by Cage in full hold-my-bourbon mode, holds down the fort while his wife Teresa works from home in the attic, because nothing bad ever happens in attics. Nathan can't cook to save his life because their internet's garbage, but hey, they've got alpacas. That's the dream, right? One night, the sky barfs magenta lightning and drops a glowing purple space rock into their front yard. It's not just any color, it's the color out of space. Literally indescribable, scientifically impossible, and probably smells like microwave radiation and bad decisions. The next day, the mayor and sheriff arrive to investigate the rock. No one knows what it is, only that it came from space. This mystery, of course, is central to Lovecraft's work. Unexplainable cosmic horror. The entity, neither good nor evil, is never truly identified by design. There's also the question of why the meteor landed here. Ward asks Lavinia if her ritual could have drawn it. She laughs it off, but it's entirely possible that meddling with dark forces marked their farm as the perfect crash site. Ward also learns there's someone else living on the property, a squatter named Ezra, who's completely off the grid. He lives in a shed powered by solar panels and surrounded by security cameras. Ezra, played by Tommy Chong, is, unsurprisingly, a massive stoner, and oddly he already knows who Ward is, even though they've never met. According to Ezra, there are little birdies floating around the ecosphere. You just gotta know how to code them. Sure, Ezra, you're definitely stoned out of your mind. He offers Ward some coffee, but it looks strange, maybe rusted. It's straight from the well and shouldn't look like that this time of year. This marks our first clue that the rock's presence is affecting the environment, and its impact only intensifies from here. After a storm rolls in, the rock is struck repeatedly by magenta lightning. It glows in multiple colors, clearly drawing the lightning toward it. Eventually the rock is destroyed, but in doing so, whatever was inside begins to seep into the earth, triggering massive repercussions. It affects electricity, vegetation, and even time itself. Ward, now alone, experiences one of the first direct anomalies. His radio suddenly dies, and a phone call is reduced to eerie static that grows louder. Strange purple lights shimmer in the woods. His car engine roars to life on its own, then abruptly shuts off. His radio crackles back to life in a distorted fashion. It's becoming clear that the well is now the epicenter of this cosmic energy, and its influence is spreading outward. Soon we see the effects on living organisms. A brilliantly colored lizard appears by the well. New, alien-looking plants begin to grow around the farm. Though the meteorite itself is gone, the area continues to change, and that's when the media circus rolls in. Reporters mock Nathan, calling him an amateur bourbon connoisseur who rants about UFOs. He admits to having had a few drinks, but insists he was sober during the meteor crash. Unfortunately, no one believes him. The contamination is no longer just environmental, it begins to affect the family's behavior too. It's not just the water, it's the entire radius surrounding the well. Something terrible has been unleashed. Things go from weird to do not eat anything in this house real fast when Teresa, mid-zombie mode, cracks open a bleeding egg and casually juliennes her fingers like it's Top Chef Psychosis Edition. Her bloodied hand held high, she calmly announces, "Dinner's ready." No one's hungry anymore. Nathan rushes her to the hospital, leaving the kids with one task: put away the alpacas and definitely keep using the clearly cursed water supply. Lavinia complies, but soon spots the alpacas wandering again, as if time is playing a little cosmic prank on her. Benny swears he did lock them up. Are they stuck in a loop, or just bad at gate latching? Meanwhile, Jack's decided the well is his new best friend. He starts muttering about voices and new friends, which is horror shorthand for this kid's about to get possessed or eaten, possibly both. Lavinia starts feeling queasy, probably because she just mainlined a mug of evil sludge, and when Nathan tries calling, the only thing that comes through is ghost screams and a dial-up modem from hell. Jack, ever the adorable little oracle of doom, draws a tendril-covered blob that looks like if Cthulhu and a lava lamp had a baby. Soon an egg hatches in the well and launches a glowing purple bug straight into the atmosphere like it's got somewhere to be. Reality's glitching, time's warping, and Lavinia loses literal hours just staring at the sink. Hydrologist Ward shows up with the most useless PSA ever. Don't drink the water. Thanks, buddy. Might want to try earlier next time. Then it's Ezra time again. Our off-grid philosopher king is now listening to some ASMR from another dimension. Scratches, clicks, and distant whispers. Ward listens and hears what can only be described as alien tinnitus. Ezra mentions that it's already morning, except it's clearly night outside. Also, his cat G-Spot is missing. If Ward sees her, Ezra warns, you might not recognize her. That'll age well. Smash cut to Nathan belting out opera in the car. Clearly not okay, when a glowing feline-shaped nightmare sprints in front of them. Yep, G-Spot's had a glow-up. She's now a hairless space panther. Back home, Jack's playing outside in a sea of purple light with his invisible friends, while Sam and the dog flips out. A UFO-shaped sparkle flows by. Cue distant, pained dog howls. Jack doesn't react. Not a good sign. Benny's back, disoriented. It was daytime. Then, boom. Dark. Time's out here pulling prank calls and switching light settings. Just in time for the parental return. Nathan flips when he sees Jack outside again, and the alpacas loose again. He's gone full Nick Cage, ranting about alpaca investments and storming off to put them away, himself. We're now entering Cage uncaged territory. As his temper arises, so does the sense that something inside him is cracking. Maybe inherited rage, maybe alien spores, maybe both. In the shower, he finds a goo blob in the drain that latches onto him like clingy space fungus. It's subtle, but Nathan's no longer just Nathan. And Teresa? She's still trying to get a Wi-Fi signal. Priorities, girl. Nathan comes downstairs trying to do that whole dad holds it together routine. But at this point, anyone saying everything's fine is just gaslighting themselves, especially when your tomatoes are juiced up like they're on cosmic steroids. Yeah, Nathan's trying to be Farmer of the Year, listening to a gardening tape while inspecting some suspiciously jacked-up produce. The crops look great, if you're into glow-in-the-dark heirlooms that could double as alien organs. But it turns out they're all rotten on the inside. He discovers this after a very brave tomato taste test that ends with him gagging and trashing everything. Teresa, fresh off another Wi-Fi meltdown, demands he fix the satellite. Nathan's response? Bourbon. Even the ice cubes are haunted. Meanwhile, a mayoral campaign ad casually shows a dead fish floating in the Reservoir Project Zone. If you're wondering how fast waterborne Lovecraftian hell spreads, answer, very. Nathan, now noticing his skin cracking, decides to fix it the old-fashioned way, rubbing bourbon on it. Step aside, Neosporin, we've got Jack Daniels. That night the entity throws another light show. Jack wakes up to the spectral whistling again. Goes outside with Benny and just vibes with the interdimensional energy like he's front row at a synthwave concert. Inside, Lavinia, clearly done with this farm-to-flesh horror, tries to bail. But her occult phase isn't over. She sets up a ritual with candles and her favorite death book, asking to be saved, via blood sacrifice. Naturally, out comes the box cutter. Over at the barn, Benny and Jack find the alpacas. Correction, what used to be alpacas. They're now fused into one horrific blob of writhing meat and eyeballs. A living tribute to the thing. As purple tendrils pulse outward, the kids run. Teresa shows up just in time to hug Jack and gets herself wrapped into the chaos. Nathan finds them mid-fusion. Teresa and Jack have become a two-headed moaning monstrosity, with Jack's glowing face poking grotesquely out of her back. Lavinia stumbles in, soaked in blood, eyes wide, looking like she's 2 chants away from joining a cult. The next morning, a magenta mist covers the land. Nathan's car, of course, won't start because nothing mechanical survives eldritch ambience. He screams at the universe. It doesn't answer. It never does. The farm is now a kaleidoscope of madness, warped plants, shimmering colors, like Avatar meets Silent Hill. Lavinia realizes this isn't just body horror, it's time horror. The meteorite has bent reality around itself like a cosmic funhouse mirror. When sunlight hits the Teresa Jack abomination, their skin starts sizzling. The family hauls the writhing flesh blob to the attic, a fittingly bleak place for this human chimera to suffer. Lavinia considers getting water, then stops. She knows better now. But her mind's been microwaved by space light. Rational thought, gone. Nathan, barely clinging to sanity, learns the alpacas are different now. Grabs a shotgun, heads to the barn, and finds his once prized livestock now one massive meat sculpture. He opens fire, screaming, unloading everything he's got. Honestly, same dude, same. So, rip alpacas. You could try making stew, but good luck selling that at the farmer's market. Back in the attic of body horror, Lavinia decides, yeah, let's hydrate Mom, because what's better for your grossly fused spider child Mom than a bowl of alien soup? Teresa slurps it like Cujo on a hot day, and surprise, blood geysers follow. So, hydration, not always key. Nathan returns and does what every horror dad must, the mercy kill monologue. Shotgun in hand, he prepares to end the misery, but instead of pulling the trigger, he delivers a heartfelt, "You'll always be my golden lady," kisses her mutated face, and walks away like that fixed anything. Dude, you missed your cue for cathartic tragedy. Meanwhile, Ward tries to play whistleblower with the town's mayor, who hears tainted water and thinks, campaign opportunity. Turns out the reservoir she's pushing will serve the entire East Coast. Great. Lovecraftian poison for everyone. Back at the Gardner house of cosmic regret, Nathan is spiraling. The kids try to bolt with Lavinia's horse, Comet, but he's had one whiff of this cursed light show and nopes into the night. Fair. Plan B. Run 12 miles through a time-warped hell forest. Benny, bless him, hears barking from the well. Yep, that well. He climbs down because Sam might be down there. Spoiler, it's not Sam. It's a glowing pile of dog soup and tentacle energy. The well grabs him like a prize claw machine and dunks him into purple oblivion. Lavinia doesn't even get a minute to grieve because Dad shows up, full Norman Bates. He insists he's not like his father, while literally preparing to feed his daughter to her Cronenberg mom. Lavinia tries to reason with him, but he's beyond reason. He's talking about family vacations while dragging her toward her doom. Later we find Nathan drinking again. Of course. His bourbon is practically glowing now. He talks to invisible Teresa, ready to watch her favorite movie and chill with her mummified corpse. Romantic. That's when Ward and the sheriff show up. They get major House from Hereditary vibes immediately. Nathan tries to act normal, but the pulsing wounds, missing kids, and giggling about family togetherness give it away. You know who isn't there? Benny. He's marinating in the well. Hearing Lavinia's screams, they run upstairs. Surprise, Teresa is now a spidery abomination. Finally done playing house, Nathan bursts in and redeems himself with a buckshot farewell. But Lavinia? She's glowing like a rave poster. Ward tries to help, but it's too late. The color rises from the well like a dramatic aurora borealis. Nathan stumbles out, gun raised, and gets shot by the sheriff. End of the line for Dad. Lavinia runs to him. He dies in her arms. Tragic. Alien. Beautifully purple. The sheriff tries to call for help, gets static. Duh. Lavinia warns, "It won't let us leave." She tried. It never works. Then they hear a noise from Ezra's cabin. Ward. "I'm checking it out." Lavinia. "I'll wait here." Ward. "I'll come back for you." So Ward and the sheriff head to Ezra's cabin, aka Weed Wizard HQ, only to find it playing Ezra's greatest hits. A creepy, distorted recording of his ramblings about a glowing purple thing that's basically terraforming the planet like it's customizing its Animal Crossing island. Ezra, high as a Lovecraft kite, was actually right all along. Turns out the thing in the well, it's not just some random space rock, it's a world builder, an alien interior decorator. It's been reshaping the land, the people, and even time itself to match its own planet's aesthetic. And that aesthetic? Body horror disco inferno. Oh, and Ezra? Dead. Just a dried-out husk leaking glowing purple light like a haunted glow stick. The energy oozes out, forms a tree monster, and yoinks the sheriff into its trunk. Ward rushes to find Lavinia, now fully indoctrinated into Team Tentacle. She stands at the well, eyes glowing, skin pulsing, whispering that it's all beautiful. Ward doesn't even get a chance to call a therapist before the light hits him, too. Cue the full 2001 A Space Odyssey acid trip. We get a vision of the entity's home world, jagged black terrain, screaming worm gods, and a glowing rock in the sky with the same sigil carved into Lavinia's head. Yeah, this thing's not from around here. Ward hits the dirt. Vines start crawling up his arms, pulling him toward the light. Lavinia dissolves into stardust like a Final Fantasy boss death animation. Her ritual worked, technically. She got protection. She escaped. Not exactly a happy ending, unless you're pro-ascension via eldritch energy. As Ward's body begins to unravel, a shadow of himself forms on the ground. It's happening. He's getting sucked into the alien mainframe. He hears echoes from the past, family voices, memories, and creepy callbacks. Inside the house, Nathan's back in his chair, a pustule-covered shell of a man, muttering in Lavinia's voice. The entire family is now stuck in this purgatory, alive but not living. Turns out all those scenes of Nathan talking to nobody, he was talking to someone, just someone trapped in fourth-dimensional space goo. Now Ward can finally see them. Nathan attacks. Ward dives into the cellar, barricades the door. Nathan pounds like a man possessed, because, well, he is. Then boom, every wine bottle explodes in a mini rapture, and Nathan disintegrates in a flash of white. The entity departs. What's left is a scorched crater where the Gardner farm used to be. Everyone's gone, except Ward. He somehow survived, traumatized, broken, but breathing. The kicker? The reservoir project went through. That's right, East Coast water is now flavored with a hint of intergalactic apocalypse. Ward stands at the edge, reflecting on the unexplainable horror he just lived through. The sky is still purple. A single insect flies by, multicolored, mutated, still carrying the mark of the entity. This ain't over. Actors and behavior. Let's be honest, Color Out of Space is less Oscar bait and more Cage uncaged, and that's exactly what makes it shine, or ooze. Nicolas Cage, Hollywood's unpredictable wizard of weird, delivers a performance that starts off quirky and relatable, then spirals into glorious madness. He doesn't just go full Cage, he takes the scenic route, stopping at every flavor of insanity along the way, and for once, it works. Cage's off-kilter energy pairs perfectly with Lovecraftian descent. Madeline Arthur, as Lavinia, is another standout. She sells the emotional stakes while also making Necronomicon rituals feel like teenage rebellion. Jolie Richardson's portrayal of Teresa Veers, from frazzled mom to body horror nightmare fuel, and the kids, Julian Hilliard and Brendan Meyer, hold their own despite some occasionally clunky dialogue. Tommy Chong as Ezra? Inspired. He's the tinfoil prophet we didn't know we needed. The ensemble shines because they buy into the madness and take us with them. Cinematography and Sound. Visually, Color Out of Space is like watching a rave held inside a dying star. Richard Stanley and cinematographer Steve Annis drench the frame in otherworldly magenta, a scientifically unnatural color that's not on the visible light spectrum. Which is perfect, since the whole movie's about things that shouldn't exist. It's a bold choice that sometimes veers into Pepto-Bismol territory, but sticks with you like a bad dream painted in neon. The real MVP of mood, though, is Colin Stetson's score. His music doesn't just underscore the horror, it becomes it. Layers of atonal brass and swelling dread stretch reality in all directions, syncing perfectly with the film's descent into temporal madness. The sound design is equally grotesque and hypnotic, whether it's the static-filled phone calls, screeching cosmic noise, or the sickening squelch of mutated alpacas. The soundscape gets under your skin and doesn't leave. This is sensory horror done right, unsettling, unrelenting, and unforgettable. Fear Factor score. Color Out of Space doesn't hit with non-stop terror, but when it does go dark, it goes really dark. The slow burn works in its favor, gradually twisting a quirky family drama into a surreal poltergeist meets the Thing experience. The vibe? Unease layered with weirdness until it cracks open into full-on madness. The mutated attic fusion of mom and son? Nightmare fuel. The way Cage flips from loving father to delusional cult leader energy and tells his daughter to feed her spider mom, that's the stuff therapy bills are made of. Even Jack's obsession with the well echoes Poltergeist's "they're here" moment. But instead of ghosts, it's a sentient color from another dimension. It's more disturbing than it is scream-inducing, which makes its 7.8 well-earned. Creepy, crawly, and just unhinged enough to stick with you. Final verdict. Color Out of Space isn't just a movie, it's an experience. A glowing, shrieking, body-melting experience soaked in neon dread and Nicolas Cage madness. Richard Stanley's return to narrative filmmaking is a pulpy, surreal homage to Lovecraft that doesn't just adapt the source material, it mutates it into something beautiful and grotesque. Is it perfect? No. Some pacing issues and side plots, looking at you, shady mayor subplot, feel like filler, but the film knows what it is, a slow spiral into cosmic ruin. The cast is fully committed, especially Cage, who finally gets a horror role worthy of his signature brand of operatic meltdown. This one's not for everyone. It's weird, it's loud, it's pink. But for horror fans, Lovecraft lovers, and people who enjoy shouting "what the hell" at their TVs, it's a must-watch. And that's it for Color Out of Space, a movie that proves sometimes the scariest thing you can see is a color you've never seen before. If you enjoyed watching a family get deep-fried by space goo, don't forget to like, subscribe, and sacrifice a goat to the algorithm. I mean, hit that bell icon. Let me know in the comments what part melted your brain the most, or if you think Nick Cage should just live in the horror genre forever. Until next time, keep your doors locked, your flashlights ready, and whatever you do, don't drink the well water.